Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a timeless reading. This energy was activated as soon as you clicked on this video. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. High Priestess, to start us off. This is a lot of intuition. This is a strong connection with spirit. This is, I think, it feels like a strong connection with your dreams. I feel like you're able to take in more images lately. I feel like a lot has been bubbling up from the unconscious. Have you been experiencing a change in your memory lately? As in more memories. I feel like things are flooding into your consciousness right now. Okay, let's put this card into a little bit of context. I love the High Priestess because she shows us the way to our Empress life. Okay, there is progress. 9 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, yes, 4 of Swords. Here is, wow, a Knight of Swords. That is a Libra energy, if I ever saw one. This card is Knight of Swords. It represents the Libra energy in action. Okay, and I think that is very, very good. And we have the Eon, Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening, the Baptism by Fire. A 5 of Cups. And there is the other Libra power card. Holy cow. Look at that. That is the Justice card, also called Adjustment. All right. So you've got both of your power cards here. Acting in line, in accordance, in harmony with your truest self is going to lead to you, I think, getting that Empress life, right? Getting the progress, getting the life that you want. Okay? The Eon card is very interesting too because this sort of represents a destruction of the past. Okay? A destruction of the life we had in order to build up step by step the life we want. And that's what we're doing here, step by step, right? Progress. The visible signs of progress here with the 9 of Pentacles. All right, mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is, oh, that's the one. We're going to set that down over here with Dwight K. Schrute right on top. And it is, once again, casual day here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. I hope you're in your jammies. Now, if you have a prediction for that mystery card, please put it in the comments down below. All right? Let's take a look around the room. We've got a lot of majors. 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana energies. We've got no fire. We've got a little bit of water. Air, air, and air. And a couple of earth cards. Okay? So there's no fire energy here. All right? And I wonder if the absence of fire might be an absence of not an absence of vision, not an absence of intentionality, but it might be an absence of this kind of almost volition, almost like a forceful, coercive, assertive energy. It kind of feels like you're in more of a go with the flow. And that resonates with our High Priestess too, because the High Priestess is trying to take your hand and lead you to your best life, saying, come on this way, to get to that Empress energy. Okay? So I feel that this is really, it's not a time for you to struggle against the flow of the universe. It's kind of like we're trying not to make sense of all of these images that are coming in. Remember I said that it feels like you're being flooded with images and a lot of memories. It's almost as if Spirit wants you to understand the lesson of what they mean, but not try to figure them out rationally or logically, intellectually. Okay. I feel like it's definitely taking life taking the hand that is being extended to you by the universe and going through this fiery doorway. Okay? This major arcana energy represents, like I said, the destruction of the past and a future that has not yet been built. But Spirit's trying to show you this doorway for you, show you this possibility, this passageway, where you can leave the old stuff behind and move into the future where you can build your life. So maybe this is where the fiery energy sort of returns to us, and we have this intentionality, and we have this vision, and we have this the will, and of course, to manifest, right? It feels to me like every tarot reading is about becoming a magician, becoming someone who can manifest their reality. And it could be that Spirit is trying to lead you through this doorway where you then take charge of your life. Maybe that's part of the absence of the fire energy, is that right now it's about you being led. Rather than you leading, it's about you following. Following Spirit, following your intuition, following this current of energy that you know is right deep down in your soul, even if your mind has been kind of wrestling with the ideas, about following what you know to be true, going through this doorway where you have power, going through this doorway, leaving the past behind, going to this future that hasn't been built yet with intentionality, with power, with vision, with will, right? With ideas, with inspiration, with the confidence that you have a say in what your future is going to be. All right. And that is the progress that we are looking for. We want to see that things are getting better, things are improving. This is something that is proceeding in a positive direction. Personal growth, the growth of the business, the growth of our relationships, the growth of our skills and talents, right? We want to see progress. And the High Priestess is trying to show you how to do that, or where to do that, right? Following this intuition. But I see down beneath the surface, that Seven of Swords, there's sometimes a lack of clarity. Sometimes the mind is not able to make sense of all the images. Sometimes it feels like right when I think I understand something, there's all this new information, and now I'm kind of left wondering, like, what the heck's going on? This is a tendency toward self-criticism. This is a tendency toward not believing in ourselves, not believing that anything is possible for us. Okay, and we all go through periods of time like this where we criticize ourselves, we doubt ourselves, we have this sort of negative dialogue that prevents us from really taking charge and going after our life, going after the life that we want to build, that Empress life. I'm hoping the mystery card is going to be that Empress. The Seven of Swords is kind of a distraction. It's kind of it's that part of us that may say, well, it's easier to not do it. Sometimes it's easier to stay in our current life, the world as it is, and not assert ourselves because, anytime I try, there's going to be something to oppose me anyway. Why try to do anything when there's going to be an obstacle, right? Well, the mind will try to sabotage us in a way. And the key word for this card is futility. Now, sometimes we feel that all of our efforts, why try? It's futile to try, right? It doesn't result in anything. Nothing will happen. It's going to be a waste of time, a waste of energy. We doom ourselves before we even get started with something. Okay? But somewhere along the line, something changed in you. There's a Two of Pentacles in the background. I think that there was an incident, or there was some event in your life, maybe we can call it a tower event or something, but there was something that changed in you. And when that happened, you said, you know what, I'm going to trust in Spirit. I'm going to trust in my intuition, and I'm going to go forward, and I'm going to see where this path will lead me. I think it's leading you obviously to this fire energy, this doorway, this passageway of fire, where you're stepping into your power and you're going to start, you're going to build your life. right? But the Two of Pentacles in the background, this was something that switched. It was maybe a particular incident at work or something in a conversation with a friend or a family member where something clicked, right? Something clicked and you came to realize, you know what, this isn't the life that's meant for. This is like, it's almost like Neo in the Matrix, you know? We're sort of waking up to this idea that, wait a minute, this isn't the life that I'm supposed to have, you know? Or this is maybe we've been living a life where the changes that have been happening to us. The way our life has been going has not been under our control. We're just victims of what's happening to us around us. The universe is acting, and that's changing me and changing my life. So there's a need for the fire energy. Maybe the mystery card will be the fire energy. There's a need to reclaim that fire and say, you know what, I'm taking control of how my life goes. Good or bad, positive or negative, black or white, daytime, nighttime, up or down, left or right. I need to have a say in that. I need to be able to choose what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis or a moment-to-moment basis. I can choose my thoughts. I can choose my behaviors. Okay. So there's a realization that, hey, I'm not a robot. No one's got a remote control that's making me do certain things, you know. It's me. I've got to take that control. And we can start changing our behaviors. Maybe this is like a New Year's resolution. I think it was kind of one moment where we just said, oh, wait a minute. Something's not right about this, you know. When we're looking at this water energy, the little bit of water that we have, that Five of Cups, it's disappointment. That's the feeling that something ain't right. And this is the fear, the worry, and the concern. I think the fear, worry, and concern is that you wouldn't recognize this, but something switched in you, and suddenly you have this sinking feeling in your stomach that something's not right. I've got to make a change. I got to start following my intuition more rather than following all the doubts, all the what ifs, all the yes but, all the I wish I could kind of energies. All of these, all the noise of our thinking, the noise even of other people, of criticism, of doubt, of uncertainty, right? Rather than that, we're changing and we're following the intuition toward progress. Okay, we're making choices here. But the first thing we have to do is recognize that we aren't happy with the way things are. This is not the card of happiness, by the way. This is the card of sadness. This is the card of something, I wish there was something here, but it's not here. Maybe we don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that idea of happiness. Why don't I feel good about my life? Why don't I feel like I'm doing the right things? Why don't I feel good at the end of the day after I've like worked hard, you know? And why am I not sleeping at night? Why don't I feel joy? Why don't I feel happiness all the time? And that's kind of a double-edged sword, because life is not always going to feel happy. Life is not always going to feel grand and pleasant and pleasurable. There's going to be difficulties. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be heartbreak, sadness, sorrow, loss. But if we try to ignore that, then I think we're forcing ourselves to be content with a life that is not satisfying to us. That's not purposeful. Okay? So something changed in you at some point in your I think recent past. Okay, it's like your spirit guides have been screaming at you. Okay, and I think you finally are listening. You can hear them now, and you're realizing that what they're telling you is, hey, there's feeling in your gut that I don't like where I am right now. I'm sure there are good things about it, bad things about it, of course. Everything has light and shadow, right? But fundamentally, deep down, we know that I need to make progress in my life. I need to take control. I need to reclaim my magic wand or my fiery wand of power, and I need to direct my life in a conscious and intentional way. I need to make conscious decisions, right? And we see that with all of our Libra energy here, stepping into our own true self-power and being discerning, using our higher wisdom and discernment to make proper choices, to direct our life in a way that not necessarily feels good all the time, but feels meaningful, feels deep, feels significant, right? Feels worth it. So that's what I think the Two of Pentacles was. It was this moment when things switched, this moment when we realized that, hey, I haven't been making intentional choices. Choices have been just kind of made for me, that I've just been flowing down the river. Right now it's time for me to start nudging the river a little bit. And the Hierophant up here is very interesting too, because every card has light and shadow. The Hierophant is sometimes the authority that we sort of unconsciously accept in life. It's almost like saying, I don't know the right way to go, so I'm just going to ask for directions. I'm going to let someone else drive the car. I'm going to let the world tell me what I need to know. I'm going to let, the world or the internet tell me who I am and where I'm going. And sometimes we need a little bit of this. Sometimes we need to seek out someone who has theoretically, more wisdom and more experience than we do, right? Sometimes we need a teacher to help us answer the question, who am I? Why am I here? How do I take control over my life? How do I start building the life I want? Right? So it may be that at some times in our life, we've sought out those kinds of people or those kinds of energies. We look at YouTube, we look at the internet, we look at TV or other people, we look at our friends, our family, our culture, our teachers, universities, our religious institutions to try to find guidance. What should I do with life? Who am I? Why am I here? What is sacred to me? And how can I honor that? Right? So we look outside for the wisdom of who I am and why I'm here. But usually it's because I don't know the answers. I'm not receiving any kind of clarity. There's too much noise going on, so we have to seek out someone who can maybe see through the noise and can help us. Okay? But what we don't realize is that it was this very thing that created all the noise. Okay? So what you're doing instead is you are trying to cut through the noise and hear the voice of your own soul, that intuition, the voice of spirit within you trying to guide you to your best life. And in order to do that, I think we kind of need a little bit of a timeout. Maybe this is a technological timeout, right? Maybe this is a little bit of a digital detox kind of thing. Four of Swords. I'm not saying you should turn off the tarot videos, but I think that this is more intentionality in about what we're consuming, intellectually, mentally. So it may be a digital detox. It's a way to cut down on the noise so that you can hear the voice of your own soul, your intuition, leading you forward to your best life. Kind of giving you that wisdom that we're most of us are searching for outside of ourselves. So I think it's being suggested to you that we do some intentional practices to lower the level of noise, the background noise, right, of the Seven of Swords. Meditation, taking, a quiet walk somewhere without our phone, without something playing in our ears. There are people that I see and that I interact with in my life that always have their headphones in, always. Like, I spend the whole day with them, and they always have something pumping into the 7 holes in their head, Sometimes we need to stop that. You know what I'm saying? I like music. I like TV. Trust me, I watch some real garbage TV. I love it. But sometimes we have to have that silence. Sometimes we need to quiet down things and not have any input. And for me, one place that I've found that really works is in the car. Now, sometimes I like to just blast my 21 Pilots or my Dave Matthews Band or my Tool in the car, put on a little Primus and just jam out while I'm driving, right? But sometimes, most of the time lately, leaving the radio off. No podcast, no music. It's calming, it's relaxing. Especially on those days where I don't take the full time of meditation in the morning. If I have to cut it short, or if the schedule doesn't really allow for my long meditation, then I definitely need to sort of continue that energy in the car a little bit. Of course, I'm still paying attention to the visual stimulus, and I'm still listening for sounds, and I'm still looking around and reacting to I'm still driving safely. But I've minimized as much of that noise as possible. Now it's music, right? It's not noise. But it fills up our head and prevents us from achieving that state of silence and calm, that stillness within that'll help us hear that voice of that high priestess. So I'm not saying you have to go complete monk or complete hermit. Maybe the mystery card, hermit. I'm not saying we have to do that completely, but let's be selective. Let's choose very carefully what we allow inside of the 7 holes in our head, right? Let's choose, because everything that we bring into our consciousness is like food. Everything we eat is food for our bodies. Everything that comes in through our senses, right, is food for other things, for our intellect, for our soul, for our emotions, for our body. And we've got to be selective and discerning about that. And try in a reasonable fashion to minimize the noise when we can. Okay, if we're someone that's always got the headphones on, let's maybe intentionally say, okay, you know what? Now, when I'm walking to school today, I'm going to take the headphones out, and I'm just going to listen to the silence. And in the silence, you'll hear a lot, right? You ever try to meditate? I don't care how quiet your room is. You're going to hear a lot. You're going to hear every little, carpet little mite thing, every little microscopic organism fluttering its wings around our world. You're going to hear everything. A little pin dropping, 20 miles away is going to rattle your windows. So you take the headphones out, and then you can hear all the sounds of the traffic and the birds and the animals and the people talking and the footsteps and just the trees in the wind and stuff. So our attention, the acuity of our senses increases when we try to minimize the noise. Okay, you got so much noise going on. Well, you can't hear the pin drop. You can't hear the trees or the birds in the trees or anything. You can't hear the footsteps and things like that, right? But once you start really trying to pay attention and turn down and minimize all the unnecessary noise, your senses are able to pick up on the more subtle sounds, right? And it's like that in consciousness. When we can clear our consciousness away of everything that isn't necessary right now, when you sit in a room and try to meditate quietly, eventually you're going to pick up on all the subtle movements, right? You'll be aware of how loud your breathing is. Can't hear it right now. But if I close my eyes and I shut this whole thing down, I'm sitting here in a dark room, I will hear and feel. You'll be able to sense that subtle. Try a breath meditation. You just sit down in a quiet room, close your eyes, breathe in through your nose. Try to feel as microscopically as you can the air moving through the tip of your nose, the little hairs or whatever, and that will become such a prominent sensation. It will feel like someone's turned the volume up on that. When we focus on the voice of our own soul and our intuition and the message and the idea of that, the voice of spirit trying to guide us, I think we'll be more able to hear that voice. But Four of Swords, this is the way forward for you. I think it's necessary to do a little bit of this so-called digital detox, right? Or the technological timeout. Yeah. Now, Path of the Serpent, let's talk about this. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Your general energy now is this Libra energy, right? A Knight of Swords. We're making decisions. We know that we need to be active and engaged in what we do and selectively choosing our inputs. We got to be picky, right? We've got to be discerning. We've got to say no to more things and say yes to the right things. Okay? More no's, less yeses. I know that's not grammatically correct. I'm quoting bus driver. Whatever. Not any bus driver. So we know we have to take a more proactive stance in what we're what we're experiencing in life. Okay. And a more active and more assertive stance is really the assumption of the fire energy. We're bringing it back. Spirit is leading you to this. I think your old life is behind you. This is a doorway. This is a decision to go into the future, shut the door on the past, and say, I don't know what's on the other side of the door. I'm going to build it. I don't know what's there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there because I haven't arrived to build it yet. Okay? You have crushed a universe and naught remains. The new universe hasn't been born yet. And that's what you're doing now. You're building a new world for yourself. You're building a world that is intentional. It's kind of like you don't just have to put up with like just a bunch of random stuff on your walls. No, take all that stuff down. Put up things selectively that are going to nourish your soul. Your environment matters. The input through your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, all that input matters. It affects you. So the stuff that's hanging on the walls, it affects you. The things that you hear affect you. The things that you choose, that anything around you that your eyes may fall upon is going to affect you. So now we're building a universe that is going to be more conducive to our growth, to what we have, what we are learning. It's an ongoing learning process about who we are and why we're here. We have to understand, what is the universe that I'm meant to build? We're going through this doorway and we're building it. Okay? I think your whole life is changing. I really do. Intentionally. That you are willing this change into place. The Five of Cups is the energy that we need, but we don't want. Nobody wants pain, sadness, sorrow, or suffering. But we know we need it. We know we have to be able to recognize how we feel. You know, when we finally stop and say, wait a minute, I don't like this. Why am I doing this? Why do I have all this stuff on my walls? I don't like this stuff. This isn't doing anything for me. If it's doing anything, it's sort of making me feel less in control. It's disempowering. It's something that you've been trying to tolerate. Now it's time for you to transform that. You're not meant to just tolerate. Now we can't control everything. Okay? But for all intents and purposes, you're building a whole new universe for yourself. And the Libra energy, the Justice card, it's about making decisions. It's about utilizing your higher discernment to make choices that are in harmony, that are attuned to your highest frequencies. Okay. Now there's a mirror. There's a prominent mirror in your house that's got like stickers on it or something, or like Post-it notes, something. Yeah. In some sense, this card is about making your world reflect who you are. Okay? You want a world that you're in this symbiotic relationship with your universe. Right? So this is about making those moment-to-moment decisions to the best of our abilities. Now again, we can't control everything. But we're going to try. Right? We're going to try to make intentional choices. What I can choose is to not have the headphones in all the time, or to be very selective about what I'm putting on, right? About what I'm listening to. I can make intentional choices to sit still in a quiet room and meditate. Okay? I can choose what I put into my body. For the most part, I can choose what I put into my eyes, my ears, my nose, you know. And I think that's the ritual of life. That's the magic. We're learning what it takes to build the universe we want. And, you know, in a ritual, you have the visual stimuli. You've got the incense, right, for both visual and for the olfactory stimulation. You have the movements, intentional movements of a ritual. You have the bells for the sound. You have maybe some music or whatever. You set your life up in a way where it is a magical ritual of intentionality. Okay? Rather than the ritual of life just being whatever is kind of pumping through the speakers, that's the soundtrack of my life. No, we're putting on our own soundtrack. You know, we're creating our own ritual here. Yeah. It's going to empower us, and it's going to, I think it's going to bring about profound changes in your life. Let's look at the mystery card. We had some ideas, right? Maybe Hermit, maybe the Empress, maybe the Universe, maybe some fire. Maybe an Ace of Wands, perhaps. Let's see. Oh, an Ace of Cups. Well, that's okay too. It's not the fiery energy that we sort of wanted. I think we're getting that here going through this doorway. Making this intentional change is sort of us assuming the magic wand, taking it for ourselves. But I think the Ace of Cups is really kind of knowing, feeling the truth, feeling what it is that you're supposed to create. To me, this is the card that says you know who you are. You know what you want in life. You know what it's going to feel good. You know what you like. We're talking about, the decorations on your wall or something, right? You know what you like and what you don't like. Well, you definitely do not like this. So we know we have to change something. We either take something away, we get a 4 of Cups. We add something to it, we get a 6 of Cups. We get something we like. You have to know what your preferences are. You have to know, who do I want to become? What kind of vibe am I going for? What kind of aesthetic really resonates with my soul? That's what I'm going to create. It's the same way we might intentionally choose some really heavy metal kind of music, right? When we're trying to get pumped up to go, I don't know, go to our martial arts class or something, right? We're trying to get pumped up for something, right? So we might put on something because it's going to stimulate you in that way. You're going for some kind of calm, serene. You're going to put on some classical music, something, gentle, right? Because it cultivates the vibe. You got to know what your vibe is so you know what kind of universe to build. All right. Now we're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do an Jing reading. We're going to do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Libra Wednesday and Saturday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.